Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Drift, and we have advice for startup businesses. Today, I'm very happy to have Ruth Levy from 365 Financial Care, which is her company. And we're going to be talking about the kinds of financial things that startups need to have and know about. So welcome, Ruth.
Hi, Mary. Thanks so much for having me here.
So, what kinds of things do startups really need to know? Are there common mistakes people make when they're first starting a business?
Well, I was thinking about this morning, and I thought a startup and having your own business is like the hero's journey. And so it's kind of this mythical experience, but also very practical. So, like the first step would be that someone they have an idea. And so, in olden times, when someone was about to go out and start their journey, they would train, they would leave their home. So that's kind of like you starting your own checking account and your own credit card for your business. Like that's one of the first things you want to do.
And that needs to be in a different institution from the one where you have your personal checking account and your personal credit card, right?
Not necessarily. I think that if you have a strong relationship with your banker, it's fine to have it at the same institution. I do, though I think sometimes it's better to establish your own personality and your own relationships separately as a business. So if you want to get very strict about it, yeah, then you would.
So, and then what's the next step after you've got your account set up?
Well, then you're training. You're always training. You're always honing your skills and putting more arrows in your quiver. But some of the other things that you want to be able to do is you make sure that you have a bookkeeper and you have an accountant and maybe even a lawyer. Also, let's get real. Some people are just starting out. This is a side hustle. This is something they do on the weekend. They are still working a full-time job. So, and that is fine. That is a great way to start.
Sure. But it's getting into good habits. You have to put aside time every week to enter all your receipts into your accounts. If you've got a basic software checking account or something, I use Quicken, but people have used Mint and other kinds of things. You don't need to have to go with QuickBooks first out of the gate. That's a big, powerful program. But you do need to separate out your business expenses from your personal, right?
Absolutely.
I love the idea of having people on your team like an accountant and a lawyer. I also recommend people have a marketing person on their team because you need somebody to help you actually make money, right?
That's right.
But how important is it for people to know their numbers?
It's incredibly important to know your numbers. And because you may be offering a package or some kind of service that actually is not making you any money. And other parts of your business and other services are actually the ones that are making the money for you.
And you need to know which is which so that you know where to best spend your time.
Right. And it may just be a small tweak to change that around. But it really helps. I think the idea of a bookkeeper is also that you're held accountable. It's very hard as a business person because so many things are grabbing at your time to sit down and do the numbers, because often it's not someone's first passion.
Oh, of course not. And sometimes it's something that people really hate to do.
For sure.
But it's very important. And when you're a startup, you're wearing all the hats in that business. Now, is there some magic number that don't start a business unless you have this much skin in the game?
I personally don't think so.
Okay.
You need, though I will say this, as part of the hero's journey, you need to rest, you need to reflect, and you need to refuel. So it's very important. One of the key lessons I learned is that you get paid up front.
Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. Not only that, but make sure your clients pay you up front. How many stories do you hear about people chasing after clients who did not pay them?
Mm.
So at least, the idea of a retainer or some kind of upfront fee so that you're not working for free and you're left high and dry. I mean, you may have a contract, you may have everything in place, but people can be really unscrupulous. I hate to say it, but I think everybody who's been in business for a while has experienced that.
Right. So what other kinds of things do you tell startups when they cross your path?
That everything is a learning experience, and your biggest mistakes are your biggest learnings. You're also, at first, you can't be super choosy about your clients. Every client, you want to give them your best. You want to also just know that they may be a referral source for you. You may keep them for a long time or a short time, but each of them, again, with the hero's journey, we don't go for slaying the dragon first. We go for the small stuff. We go so that you don't explode, because there are so many things vying for your time. As you said, you may be the only person doing everything in your business.
Right. And slow and steady can be much more likely to succeed than fast and explosive.
I agree. Yes.
A lot of startups think they need venture capital or angel investors to get them really going. What kinds of financials do people need to have to present to that sort of person in order to get them to take you seriously, much less give you money?
They need to see your cash flow. They need to see that your income is greater than your expenses. Also, the idea of starting, I'm kind of old school. I'm very much like, if you can't start to build it on your own, how are you really going to convince someone else that they should start you off?
That's very good points indeed. Well, thank you very much, Ruth Levy from 365 Financial Care. This is Mary Scott from Business Riff. I help startups succeed faster by opening new markets and connecting to custom resources with my business concierge services. Thanks again for coming to Stuck, Time to Improv.